Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor San Juan Del Sur did not tell us in the edited television show. Some of these will be game related, some are strategic, and some are just plain silly. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on TV, it is fair game to be considered a secret. And while most of the secrets here are focused on Survivor San Juan Del Sur season 29, some of them do apply to Survivor as a whole. Heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting, and not every single secret in existence about this season is in this video. So with that, let's count all 35 of them in absolutely no particular order. Number 1, Natalie and Nadia, the only players on the season who had previously competed on a CBS reality show twice. Yeah, they were on The Amazing Race not once, but twice before the season, and I have a video all about that journey, links in the description. But anyways, here are the details on how the twinnies got cast on Survivor.
Our blood is thicker than anybody else's blood out here.
Twinnies!
Natalie and Nadia are contestants that were on The Amazing Race, and they did so well, and they were so well liked, and they had so much personality. And we had had success before using Hayden from Big Brother. They're great storytellers. They're nutty as can be. They talk all the time at the same time, and you never really know what they're gonna say. And I think being separated works to their advantage, because together, they're too powerful and they're too much. They talk a lot and they're funny and they're loud. I would expect both of them to be around for a while.
Last year, Nadia and Natalie raced around the world.
Together we're a hot mess.
But can they survive on the island?
We need help!
Survivor premieres CBS.
Number 2, speaking of Natalie, her in-game nemesis, John Rocker, with whom she became friends with after the season, was widely known for his racist comments he made back in the late 90s. So of course, this led to late night networks making fun of him back then when he did that.
We were able to get secret footage of Rocker's session this morning with the psychologist. Take a look.
You've recently made some very harsh comments about foreigners. What accounts for your anger? Your childhood is very troubled. Why don't you tell me about it?
With that, thanks for watching Once Upon an Island. Liking and subscribing really helps, and if you want to pick what videos I make and watch every video weeks and even months early, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. Every month, the patrons get to pick what subject to cover about Survivor or The Amazing Race. If that interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Number 3, Jeff was on 2.5 Men. Yeah, Wes knew all about it, and I had no idea about this until he mentioned it in the show, and Jeff is like sheepishly avoiding the subject. So, what was Jeff so ashamed of?
Everything okay, babe? Bacon's ready.
Number 4, spoiler alert for season 31 Cambodia. Skip to the next secret now to remain unspoiled. Okay. In this next secret, you can see Jeremy's determination to win Survivor and how anything less is unacceptable, which I think explains so much of how he came back and did so well.
If I don't win, I've been trying to get on the show for 10 years. If I don't win, it's a failure and I'm gonna be pissed off. I want you to know that. If she wins, it's a failure and I'm gonna be pissed off because I wanna win that bad.
Number 5, while going through the behind the scenes material for this season, I found that there are even some more uncovered gems of Wes and Keith interacting, and I imagine these two in the same house must have been comedy almost all of the time.
Yeah,
He's still at the house.
$1 million because I'm still living at home.
He's still at the house, so I see him every day.
Yeah.
Most every day. That's one
That's
thing.
why I need to win, because I need to get out the house. It's been 22 years.
Mama can't cut the cord. I know I don't look like Mr. Athlete, and he really doesn't either. Just kind of thinks he does, but he doesn't. He really doesn't.
I really do.
Focus on the prize and not on the honey or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I don't
You
know.
can call her later, or
Yeah, keep in mind on
call
$1
her when
million
you move
bucks,
out.
I gotta get out
Call her
the
when
house.
you move out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Number 6, stick to the plan. In the most infamous bad strategic play of the season, Keith tanked a few games all with one line, but most notably was his own son's game because Wes was voted out as a result. So what is the aftermath of stick to the plan that we did not see?
He says stick with the plan, and he's not supposed to do that. I told him just to play it cool. Don't make it seem like John, is going home tonight.
Tribal council was crazy. Didn't go quite as we anticipated, and Wesley went home. When you said stick with the plan, I was like, oh my God, Keith, you're killing me right now.
Why would you say that to Reed?
So he panicked and he played the idol.
Well, how do you know that was the plan?
Number 7. Not everyone liked Baylor. In fact, most people this season thought she was a brat. It has been 8 years since this season aired, so she's had a lot of time to grow, and believe it or not, after this season, Baylor has gone on to be a successful musician.
Jesus happened in the blink of an eye. Every part of my life was changed.
Number 8. Reed's final tribal speech about Missy being the evil stepmother is iconic. So, what does Missy think about this months later after seeing it again on television?
You know, Reed's a performer. He's on Broadway. It was his big chance to shine. He probably rehearsed that umpteen times before he got to do it. I think that his game was out of his control. For an uber Survivor fan like he is, I think he was just devastated. You know, he didn't get as far as he wanted to. So, but the attack was completely uncalled for.
Number 9. Speaking of Reed, sure, he made it far in the game, but according to Natalie, his chances of being the first boot, they were extremely high.
You know, from the start, Reed was a hot mess. And like, he was just stirring up the pot for no reason. Makes me wish that we had lost our first challenge, because Reed would have been off in 1 second. There's nothing Reed could have done to save himself that first tribal council if we lost. Like, everybody was like on board with Reed. Like, I was like, it's all coming up Reed if we lose. And I had no idea Nadi was in trouble, or I would have been like fake, try to, sabotage our win so we could just send Reed packing. But He was a mess. He was, he was so too talkative. He was like just being a hot mess on camp. And like, he can't deny it. I called him out on our first tribal about it too, but there's no way he can deny that he was crazy.
Number 10. Some seasons Jeff will have a slew of bad predictions, and some seasons Jeff will actually call who the winner's gonna be. So how does he do this season?
I think Jacqueline is in trouble. She's not one that I think is gonna last long. She'll hate me for saying this. I hope I'm wrong. Going into it, I think she's gonna get bowled over by some other people. I think they're just gonna run over her, and there'll be a stronger alliance of people who have a bigger mouth and are willing to talk faster and act more quickly. And I think Jacqueline will need to move very fast to have a shot in this game.
Number 11. When Jeff does his tour of Tribal Council, he teaches us a lot of stuff, and that's all fine and good, and we're gonna look at it in a later secret, but for now, let's focus on his annual attempt at a joke.
You probably sensed this was coming. TVGN, I'm voting you out, and here's why. You cheat on me. You cover Big Brother. You hang out with Julie Chen. I don't like that. I'm a one-on-one kind of thing. If you've got other people you think are interesting, you should spend more time with them. I'll find someone else.
Number 12. In this secret scene from Day 0, we can see that whether it is Survivor or The Amazing Race, any task the 20s work together on will result in them yelling at each other. It's just the basic laws of being the 20s.
Shut up, ready? Cover Nadia this
I'm
side.
covering
no, you're
it,
not.
Natty.
You can't even, let me try. Stop bringing the sand in.
It doesn't matter, sand is better than the rock.
Okay, wet sand is good.
It's wet.
It is wet. Let me try.
Wait, relax.
First of all, put a rock on it. You're going into the sand. Stop it.
The twigs.
No, not yet. No, Sandy. No, the twigs, you idiot. Twigs are.
Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the hermit crabs bite.
Number 13. Did you know Drew Christie is kind of awesome? Did you know that? Because it's important. He ran San Juan Del Sur up and down and controlled the game like no one else ever has. Who knew that during his fateful boot episode, that was completely a fluke obviously, that there was even more messiness that we did not see?
The girls want Keith out of this game. I have no idea why, other than that, so they have the numbers on the guys.
And we have less girls anyway.
Do you really think that the less amount of girls can overtake what we have?
And Missy's on your side anyway.
I don't trust Missy either.
He just told you that. He just told me that. He's like, well, I don't trust Missy. I was like, that's messed up, Drew, because she trusts you. That's straight up what I told him.
Natalie came to me and said, Drew announced that he doesn't trust me. Okay. That's all it takes for me. If you don't trust me, I'm done with you. I guess the counseling paid off, because the one thing they said in therapy was I picked crappy men in my life. But you know what? No longer am I doing that.
Number 14. Did you know that Mike White of Survivor David vs. Goliath stopped the season from having the Redemption Island twist yet again? As Jeff says in his interview with Dalton Ross, in a weird way, I owe thanks to Mike White. Mike is a big Survivor fan. He was over at our house just a few weeks prior before we started shooting, and I confided in him about the basic creative for the Blood vs. Water season. And when I mentioned Redemption Island coming back, he had a very lackluster response. "Oh, you're doing Redemption Island again?" he said. The words hit me like a stray, leftover medallion of power right between the eyes. We had debated Redemption Island during our Survivor creative meetings, and for some reason, hearing him say it at that moment tipped the scale. Redemption Island duels became Hero Arena challenges, and Redemption Island became Exile Island. It was a pretty simple switch and didn't impact anything we had built or designed. Number 15. Wes has been hunting ever since he was a little kid. As him and Keith reveal in an interview, he has been doing this since he was like 5. Heck, Keith will let him go off on his own with a gun at 10 years old. So he isn't a slouch when it comes to hunting, which makes this secret scene all that much better.
You know, squirrel tastes great. He's sitting right there just looking at us. Now he's just mocking us. Damn. That turned out to be a negative. Give me a slingshot with a pellet. I would become one with the squirrel.
Number 16. Speaking of things not going Wes's way, I think in this next secret scene, the ocean said, let's stick to the plan.
Wes, what'd you do?
Did you get stung?
What got you? Stingray? Oh my gosh, it's all red.
I was just walking out there to wash my hair in the water and something pinched me or stabbed me or something under there, just under I stepped on something and came out limping.
Number 17. Baylor and Alec in love at last. I bet you didn't see this one coming. At least one of these two were thinking this way though, and who could blame them? This easily could have been a power couple.
Tell me if my butt hurts you. I want to bite some of the icing.
You want the only good part?
No, I just want to bite. Say it.
Baylor was sitting in my lap and trying real hard to flirt with me, which kind of sucks because I think she's kind of annoying and lazy.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that a shame?
There's another piece right there.
There's another piece still. But at this point, my alliance means nothing. We don't have the numbers. They do. So yeah, I'm going to do what I got to do to connect with Baylor in the strongest way possible. Come on, girl. Here, girl. Here, girl. Come on.
Number 18. Survivor Guatemala is not the same as Survivor San Juan del Sur. Now, I know you weren't thinking that, but I have to say it out loud and make sure that we're on the same page because I don't think the art department knows that season 11 happened.
We are going very heavily Mayan as far as the influence goes. Big stone temples and ancient carvings and Mayan gods and the Mayan calendar and the glyphs and all the amazing fun visual stuff that you get to do. Tribal Council, it's basically a Mayan temple, but it's sort of a lost jungle ruin.
Number 19. Earlier, I said that Jeff Probst would be giving us all the details that went into making this season's Tribal Council, so can you guess what I'm about to show you?
This is where the survivors sit when they're at Tribal Council. Usually we have wooden stumps. This time everything is brick, concrete, all the plants. To build this took 6 weeks, almost 50 guys every day, local labor, building this from scratch. And my favorite part of Tribal Council, I've run out of superlatives. Take a look at this, baby. Look at that. This is a total work of art. I truly love these. It's why I will admit that I keep them. I have every single snuffer from every season.
Number 20. As Jeff Kent famously said, he wants that $1 million, which would have only been $600,000 after Obama took his cut. So who knew that Jeremy this season would compare himself to Jeff Kent?
So I remember seeing Jeff Kent. Yeah. And Jeff Kent's so mad. He's on the jury and he's so mad. And I'm like, why is he so mad? You know, he just played a great game, you know. Survivor's awesome. Like for weeks, you know, for votes after vote after vote, he looked mad. And now I see why. because I'm pissed.
Number 21. Most people who play Survivor long into the merge lose a lot of weight. Heck, Wes lost about 20 pounds during his time playing, but little did he know what would happen after only one night at Ponderosa.
Yesterday you were 160.8. What are you up to? Whoa! What were you at? Jeez. 160.8! Goodness! 20 hours ago. Half a pound every hour.
Number 22. Right after Reed is voted out, it's Josh's birthday. What unique timing. So everyone celebrates this on Ponderosa.
Happy birthday! Yay, real pizza. Oh Yay!
Oh my gosh. Birthday party for me yesterday, and then they said that they'd planned a trip for today, and I was so excited. So we got up this morning and we headed out to San Juan Del Sur. There awaiting us was a boat, and we got to go fishing. Good times, great fun, had by all. No fish, but a lot of fun.
Number 23, Alec versus Jeremy. Who views this game in the correct light? Who knows it better? Who do you agree with?
I played it a little bit better than Jeremy did. Jeremy came off as a huge threat to everybody, and I didn't. I kind of laid back, downplaying my skills, or even just not being that good at the game made me good at the game.
Alec's a young kid, and he has a long way to go to grow up. Even watching it, I don't think he'll get it.
That he could have been a better player than me, but on paper, whenever you look at how the game played out, he wasn't. I made it farther than he did.
Just because you made it further than other people doesn't mean you played a better game than them or that you're better than them. You know, if you win it, you can say, I played the best game.
Number 24, during John's Ponderosa video, he essentially compares Missy to someone who should have been in the Cult South Pacific Alliance of season 23, except she didn't vote him out.
When you're here, it's very hard to separate, is this the game person or is this the real person? And that's what I got stuck in with Missy. Missy is okay with leading me on, using words like it's in God's plan and it's already written and things like that to butter me up. I said, trusting you is a leap of faith. I'm trusting God here. And she was like, good, trust in God. Trusting God is like, that's absolutely. So she utilized my faith as a manipulative maneuver, and that's what hurts.
Number 25, Baylor. No one likes her at Ponderosa. Now, how do I know this? Well, when anyone else comes to Ponderosa after being voted out, they get a hug, they get a beer. People say, oh man, it sucks that you're here, but on the other hand, we get to hang out. Now, when Baylor shows up, everyone's like, hey, yeah, oh, okay, okay, go away.
I was hoping they would be like, what's up, Baylor? You know, you have that like expectation. But I just showed up and they were like sitting down, Baylor, go wash your hands. We're ready to eat right now. I was like, dang, okay.
All these guys here bashing Missy and Baylor. So all they do is bash. Like it's, I feel like I'm hanging with a bunch of little girls.
Number 26. If you watched any late night TV in the first few months after the US went into lockdown due to COVID, then you may recall how so many shows had their hosts film from home, and man, they got desperate for content. All that to say, Jacqueline was featured on Jimmy Fallon once.
She's got some good taste in wines.
Number 27. As you may recall, John and Jacqueline said that they wanted to get married and have a kid, but Jacqueline couldn't physically do that because she was born without a uterus. So after this season, they did get married, and they did find a surrogate mom and just had their first child in 2022. Number 28. When playing Survivor, many people have favorite moments, whether it be the first time they land on the beach, the first time they meet Jeff, winning immunity, blindsiding someone, taking in the beautiful scenery. But for Wes and Keith,
Wesley and Keith, tell me if you would, what's your most memorable moment?
What I really liked was the taco bar. It was huge.
Yes.
It was huge. I can't remember much more than eating tacos and drinking cold ones. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's probably the taco bar too.
Yeah.
I got like in a food coma state of mind. I started sweating. I started like dry heaving, the cold sweats.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, slow down. And he kept hitting me.
Number 29, Jeff may be edited as the snarky host who keeps it clean when others can have a filthy mouth. That's the power of television, my friends. As many players across many seasons say, Jeff has a surprisingly filthy mouth himself, like this one time with Wes and Keith.
Yeah, I was singing and we were singing and I said a few cuss words and Jeff was like, you know, this is a effing family show. Stop effing cussing Wes.
Oh,
piece of crap. And it went off on me, but like a joking. It was like a joking off, but it was funny because I kept just blabbing.
Number 30. As you know, this channel's main bread and butter are my videos analyzing the storytelling of Survivor and how the show wants you to interpret certain events along with what they do and do not include to tell a hopefully satisfying tale. It doesn't always work out though. Along with that comes the winner edit, which varies from season to season, but some people deny its existence, like Jim Rice did during his podcast interview with Rob Sesternino when he was vying for votes to get on Cambodia. Well, had Jim listened to this interview from Jeff only a year prior, well, he may have been aware that it's true, it's real.
On Survivor, we build the world, it's an island, and then you show us what you're gonna do, and we come back and write it then. So it's this fantastic sort of reverse engineering mystery that we're writing that starts on day 39 and it goes back to day 1 and says, now we're gonna take you on this journey, and there are clues all along the way about who's gonna win this game.
Number 31. Did you know that Jeff has co-written a series of books meant for middle grade readers called Stranded? I own the first 3, and if you are all interested enough, I may make a video about them. But anyways, here is Jeff talking about this.
Lately, I've been writing these kids' books, Stranded, and it's an adventure series of books for kids, like 8 to 12, and it's Survivor for kids. There's an adventurer in all of us, and kids have not been conditioned to believe they can't do it. They actually believe they can. And when an 8-year-old comes up to me and says, when are you gonna do Survivor for kids? I always treat it legitimately. And I say, well, do you think you could really do it? Yes, really, you think you could make a fire? I think so. Do you think you could catch a fish? Yeah. And you could build some kind of a shelter? Yeah. Well, maybe you'll be on the show one day.
Number 32. Wes is an expert chicken nugget eater. McDonald's should be sponsoring him as we speak. We all know this, and it may be all I ever remember of him after watching this season. So, what does his father think about this?
How many chicken nuggets can you eat?
Oh, I can't eat 59 like what's his name? That's crazy. I don't even know why he brought that up. He's got a chicken nugget trophy at the house, you know? Yeah. He ate 25 hot wings and 2 beers. Man, I'd be over there like, oh, it'd be bad.
Number 33, the Survivor medical team, an important part of any season, and thankfully they were not needed as much in San Juan del Sur as they were in so many other seasons. But here is the behind the scenes on their job.
Welcome to a behind the scenes for Survivor San Juan del Sur. Introducing you to our medical team.
Survivor medical team, there's 3 doctors, 3 paramedics, 2 nurses. We've got a clinic open 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've got 24-hour-a-day cover. There's a clinic at the base camp, a smaller clinic more remotely, and at times we cover over 9 places.
One of the places that you most often see our doctors in action is at a challenge. If you're a fan, you know these challenges are physical and they can be very tough, which is why at every challenge, right just outside of camera's view, is our medical team. And they're like this, ready to go into action. All right, so if we have to pull somebody from the game, typically they need to get to the hospital pretty quickly. And we always have 3 different modes of transportation. We have a car if they need to go by land. We always have a boat if it's out by water. And in extreme situations where time is truly of the essence, we do have a chopper, a helicopter, and it is on go 24/7. And that chopper can be from the ground up into the air, heading to the hospital in 7 minutes. We do everything we can to protect the safety of our crew and our contestants. Hope you're enjoying Survivor San Juan del Sur, blood versus water.
Number 34. We see this in a secret scene, and Wes even talks about it in his interview with Teresa Cooper of Survivor Africa, but he knew John had the idol since he went to the exact spot the idol should have been on Exile and it wasn't there, and he tries telling everyone that it wasn't there, but no one believed him.
I told everybody there that John had it too, and nobody believed me. I said, because when I went to the the island Exile, that's all I did. I started a fire and I went and looked for the idol. Low tide, this is going to be, you can only reach it. There's one rock mountain where you can get to low tide. There's absolutely nothing there. Flipped over, and they didn't show it, but I sat there for 8 hours looking for the idol. And I was like, John's got it. He's the only one that's been here before me for that time or whatever. Nobody wanted to believe me, though, that he had the idol.
Number 35. Did you know Natalie Anderson competed on the challenge and dominated? Yeah, let's get her on Big Brother so she can basically do every reality show that's worth anything. It's true that she was on the challenge and she did pretty well, but unfortunately she was medically disqualified during the filming since she discovered she was pregnant, and after the season, she miscarried. But here's one example of her doing well on the show.
Go! There it is, Natalie. Good job, Natalie.
Come on, Ash, it's going so well. They need to swing.
There it is.
Natalie is super strong and muscular, but Ashley, she's really small.
Go!
So which secret surprised you the most? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.